Chuck, and we're from Bushwick. We're from the old Bushwick. I'm from the 60s here. I came to Bushwick in 1961, to Jefferson Avenue between Central and Wilson. We used to live in Spanish Harlem in 122nd Street in the 50s. Me, my two sisters, and my older brother. And my mother was born in Brooklyn in 1932, in Brooklyn, New York. And when she met my father, they moved to Spanish Harlem. Yeah, and she wanted to move back to Bushwick because she was a Bushwick girl. So we moved to Bushwick. My father bought the house on Jefferson Avenue between Central and Wilson. And that's where I learned rock, up rock, what you guys call it now. That's the official new name, up rock. It used to be rock, but you know, there's a reason behind it, so it's up rock. And I learned up rock in Bushwick. And me and Chuck here, you know, we used to rock in the old clubs, the Orange Peel.
The Red Light.
The Red Light was big.
Salsa.
The Salsa, the Revival.
The 610.
The Chateau. There was a lot of clubs back in the days. But before those clubs, well, not before the Red Light and the Lime and the Orange Peel, right? And the Garden.
The Garden?
Yeah, we used to go to those places like 72, 73, 74, around there. But like before that, when we were little kids in Bushwick in the 60s, there was Carlos, Fernando, may he rest in peace. They lived on Wilson. Gabriel Sanchez lived on Jefferson and Wilson. I lived on Jefferson. Little Eddie lived on Jefferson, and David, little Dave, lived on Jefferson and Irving. This was in the 60s, and that's how we knew each other. Little Jackson lived on Cornelia and Irving, and that's how we knew each other, from that circle. And in that era, they were already rocking. They were young kids, and that was all over the streets of Bushwick in the 60s, rock, because they were copying it from the guys in the corner, which were the cliques. And there were these little social clubs where there were rockers in there. And the little kids used to pick it up. They used to peek inside the social clubs. And that's how I learned, because I used to see my friends do it when I used to go with my mother to the bootleg bingo parlors in Bushwick.
I'm trying to say, like, you guys now here are giving your part of the story. And hopefully that...
And that's what we're doing, is giving our part, because I'm going to be honest with you, I don't even think we was the first, because I wasn't the first, because like I told you, 66, 67, 68, and 69, I was going to the bootleg places with my mother to play bingo and all of that. Like I told you, in Bushwick, everybody was there. And they were already doing it, and I could care less about it because I didn't know what it was, and you know, I just thought it was just my friends just...
But I'm sure you've seen the original Up Rock black and white clip of the... On YouTube, it says original rocker. There's these two black guys.
Yeah.
And they're dancing, and that's like early '60s. That, you know, and they're doing a lot of the running and stopping.
What's the name of that reggae? That they be doing. You know, like, pop, pop.
Yeah,
those guys were nice though, right? Because they had the.
That was it Charleston or something?
Nah, the Charleston.
No, Charleston was like that.
Oh yeah, not Charleston. It was something else. Yeah.
That gong show shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm trying to say is, you know, because I mean, there's always a thing, the Bronx, the Queens, Manhattan. I kind of feel like it doesn't matter where it comes from. It just, everybody just did their thing, and
right.
it was a party.
13, 14 years old, you're not going from the Bronx to Brooklyn. And vice versa, you know, at 12, 13, 14 years old, you can't even go down the block or around the corner sometimes. You know what I'm saying? So people are growing up in different places at the same time, but when they get of age to travel, then they start hearing more stories as they get out of their little, you know, their nest, so to speak. And being able to get into the clubs, then everybody, the stories start mixing, and you know, when stories mix, everything always comes out, you know, different.
But if you're trying to find out where rock began, who knows? Like I was just talking to you about 1935. Fred Astaire using the machine gun and the bow and arrow.
What was the name of that movie?
Top Hat.
Top Hat, right.
Check it out, Top Hat, 1935. He's battling 8 guys and he's dancing around and he's just pulling the machine gun out and he goes, wah, bah, 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 bah. And then he turns around and he comes like this and then he goes, wah, hits you with a bow and arrow. Dude, he was going off on 8 guys. And I said, what? I called Chuck right away. I said, yo, Chuck, check this out. 1935.
Like 2 in the morning or something, he calls me.
Yeah, I was at work still. I hope my boss ain't watching this. Hey, it was downtime.
So tell me,
like
like,
I said, the Latin USA series on PBS, you see Tito Rodriguez doing the floor
I told you, I
sweep.
saw that,
This is
yeah.
1950.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, that was cool. Well, you know, who knows where rock really began? That's why no one should say, oh, we were the first ones. There was no first one. Dances in art has been around forever.
Story and just put it together.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I mean, you get a lot of
Because
machismo.
like you
shit.
said, I have my stories, you have your stories, he has his story. Everybody has a story.
But the thing is to go up to the Bronx and get some of the Bronx guys' stories and throw them in there
Yeah.
too.
You see, I guess I got mixed up in the mix when that happened because I mean, as growing up, I know I only seen, and I used to go to the Bronx because I mean, I have family live in the Bronx, and every time I went to parties, and if they play something, I was always doing rock, and I used to tell my cousin, he's an old school graffiti writer. I said, yo, anybody rock out here or something? He's like, what? What are you talking about? He was like, yo, you talking about the break dance? I said, no, I'm not talking about rock. He was like, no, I don't know. And they're like, that is a dance. And a lot of people say, well, you know, a lot of you guys in Brooklyn, you do it different than what we do it. We don't do it that style, you know. And some people used to call it the Brooklyn rock. But I kind of like say, you know, I used to tell people I think it started in Brooklyn because, I mean, all the guys that I knew in the gangs, I used to watch them from since I moved to Bushwick, you know. But I guess I could be wrong in saying that. I should have maybe never said it that way because I'm not sure.
In a way, that's all you knew, basically.
Yeah.
Because you're a young kid. It's not like you're going to the Bronx at that point and seeing what they're doing over there.
Exactly.
You know? Because I remember when I moved to Brooklyn, I was 13. This is like 1972, 73. And I was already dancing.
That's when I told you that he
I was
was the
already
dance contest in the red light.
And dudes in the pool room were saying, yo, you're from the Bronx, right? The older dudes than me, you know, because I guess they knew. They went to the clubs, like to the Footsteps and to the Contiki.
Oh, wow.
And to the Red and White, and to, you know, Ipanema, those places.
Yeah, the Ipanema, that was the place.
52nd Street.
Yeah, the Ipanema,
These are places that were open in the 70s,
Yeah.
you know, before the hustle.
That's
Electric
right.
Circus.
The Electric
places like
Circus,
that.
yeah. Oh, the Electric Circus was nice. That
That's
was,
what
yeah.
Warren, matter of fact, Warren took me and Dennis, my boy Dennis, we were kids. We were like 11, 12 years old, man. You know, and he took us into that club.
When I first started watching you guys dance on YouTube and stuff, I was surprised the way you know, do this thing. And I was saying, wow, right, Chuck? I said, I don't remember that, you know, because when I grew up, you had to learn to, you know, and do a lot of that. That's what we used to do when we was waiting for the break part, right? And keep it going.
Footwork, you know, a lot of sliding back and forth.
Yeah, I used to like that. And then you go, pow, pow, then you go. And that's when Little D, if he caught you going like this, he go right under your legs and come back behind you and go, you want mustard on that? Back in the days, I remember that. Yeah, dude! And then after he started doing that, a lot of guys used to start, I remember bringing baby powder and throwing it on the floor.